Hello, John Talley here with Partzilla.com. Today we have another really easy project to do on our 1967 Honda CT90. Today we're going to replace the Kickstarter shaft seal, which is right here. I've already got it purchased, so it's ready to go. And it's really easy to do. I just need to grab a couple of basic tools and then I'll walk you through how to get this done. Heck, I don't even need my regular table to do this. It's so simple. So I'll be right back and we'll get this thing knocked out. Now, if you're a regular viewer of our videos, then you know that I already did the shift shaft seal, which is basically the same procedure. So it's really simple. You don't need that many tools. And by taking care of this, you're going to eliminate the possibility of it peeing on the floor, so to speak, and making a oily mess under it. Especially on these older machines, just over time, the rubber starts to get brittle. Then, of course, it's going to start leaking. Now, the shift shaft, it was actually leaking. This side, it was still sealed up. But it's only a matter of time before it starts leaking from this seal as well. So we're going to take a preemptive strike and go ahead and get it replaced. That way I won't have to worry about it. Now, before we move the Kickstarter itself, let's mark that split there so it'll make it easy to get the Kickstarter back in the same place as we take it off. Now, on a lot of machines, they actually have a little dimple or a dot that's punched into the end of the shaft, and that's your locator for the split mark for your Kickstarter arm itself. This one doesn't have that dimple, so permanent marker, piece of cake. That'll get it back exactly where it came off. Now, on this particular model, there is just one 10mm bolt, and we'll need to remove it all the way because it does more than just squeeze that point together. There's also going to be a channel on the end of the shaft which the threads are actually riding against. So it has to be removed all the way before you can actually get the entire Kickstarter assembly to come off. Now, if it does not immediately want to come off the end of the shaft, what you can do is take a screwdriver. In this case, I'm going to use a little chisel. Now, I will guarantee you that one had never been off before. There's that groove I'm talking about that the bolt was actually going through or against. Now, there are a couple of different ways we can extract this seal. We can try putting a hook in there and pulling it out. I've had the best luck usually with pushing this next to the shaft and then prying it out. But I warn you, if you do that technique, that metal right there is very thin, and you run the risk of possibly snapping that outer case, especially on a unit this old. That's going to be kind of tough to come by. So be careful if you do it that way. A third option is to take a wood screw and actually screw it straight in to the seal itself, grab it with a pair of pliers, and pop it out. But we're going to go for the way I know how to do best, and that's just using a punch, going in next to the shaft, and then popping it out. Now, when you're doing this technique, don't drive it too far in, otherwise you'll scar the inside of the case. And when you do that, it's not going to seal up properly. So it's partially broken through up top. We're going to head down, see if we can get it to pop that way. There she goes. Close. And she is out. What we're going to do next is get some brake cleaner, contact cleaner. Use this paper towel just to clean that edge so we don't drive any of that debris further inside. And then we're going to go get a socket that's as close as we can get to the outside of this without going past it, and then use that to drive it back into place. What we're going to do before we put it on is put a little bit of grease around the inside of the seal and then around the shaft here. It will not take a lot of force to get this in place, and what we're going to use in this particular instance is just a 19mm. We want it to fit to the outside but not past the edge of the seal, and then we're just going to lightly tap it in place. Next, just because that Kickstarter arm was fairly difficult to get off, I don't want it to seize on there should we ever have to do this again in another, I don't know, 40-something years. Probably not going to happen. We still have our mark as to where the arm was. Just line that back up. And we should be able to just tap it back in place. And if it gives us too much of a fit, we'll put the chisel back in there to open it back up. Not too bad. Now, here is where you want to make sure you've got it at the right depth. It should go in easy. Yeah, it does. So that was it. Just retighten what I would call a pinch bolt. Well, all right, guys, that is it. Pretty simple little project, especially if yours is marking its territory in your garage. This is an easy way to stop that from happening and keep your floors clean. Well, listen, if you need these or any other parts for your machine, why don't you come see us at Partzilla.com and we can get you taken care of. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below and I'll do my best to answer them. And hey, you like what you see, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you can keep up with whatever I'm working on next. We just want to say thank you for shopping here with us at Partzilla, and we will see you in the next video. Y'all have a great day.